Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If this is your first time here, my name is Trish and I love to focus on botanically driven skincare, and I also love to focus on indie beauty in general. I do dabble a little bit in conventional beauty, makeup, skincare as well. But like I said, I do love to focus mostly on indie beauty and botanically driven beauty. That is where my passion definitely lies. So today is part 2 of my mini series on actives. My previous video, I focused on vitamin C and AHAs. Today, I'm going to be focusing on retinoids as well as botanical retinols. So that means Bakuchiol and Moth. Obviously, I'm going to be going into that more in depth in just a little bit. And then I also have a little bit of a surprise ingredient that I'm going to touch on at the end of the video. So in my previous video, I talked about, what do I mean by an active? I had a viewer in a comment ask me, what do I mean when I say actives? And there is not one single definition for actives. So if a dermatologist is talking about actives or an esthetician is talking about actives, you're not going to find one single definition for that. But in general, when dermatologists are talking about actives, I came up with these couple of statements which I really liked. So actives can mean ingredients that provide long-term skin benefits or ingredients that make a change in your skin. So like I said in my previous video, that can mean niacinamides, ceramides, hyaluronic acid. It can also mean ingredients that are very nourishing to your skin, like beautiful butters and oils like shea butter or hemp seed oil, things of that nature. And like I mentioned in my previous video as well, most of the skincare that I have typically has at least one of those ingredients, like ceramides or hyaluronic acid or niacinamide. And in general, when I'm talking about actives, for me personally, I'm talking about vitamin C, AHAs, and retinoids, and then the quote-unquote botanical retinols. So like I said, I already touched on the vitamin C and AHAs in my previous video, so if you missed that, I will obviously be linking that above and below so you can check that out. And so let's go ahead and start talking about the retinoids, which like I said, I'm going to be focusing on today. So retinoids are a class of chemicals derived from vitamin A. So this kind of still gets a little bit confusing for people. What is a retinol? What is a retinoid? What is retinoic acid? So retinoid is the umbrella term. So this is going to include retinoic acid, retinol, retinol palmitate, my favorite, which is hydroxypinocolone retinoate, which from here on out, we're just going to call HPR. So all of those are retinoids. And then as you probably know, retinoids help control acne breakouts, they stimulate collagen production, they decrease hyperpigmentation, they help fade scars, they're going to increase cell turnover, decrease fine lines, and all of these have been proven in clinical studies. Retinoids have been studied for many, many years, so it is a clinically proven ingredient to provide these skincare benefits. One very well-known side effect, though, of use of retinoids is photosensitivity, so you really want to be diligent with your use of SPF if you are going to incorporate retinoids into your skincare, especially the most strong one, which is the retinoic acid. So really be diligent with that use of SPF if you're using retinoids or if you plan to use retinoids. And then as I mentioned, with retinoic acid being the strongest one, that is because retinoic acid is the biologically active retinoid. And that is because retinoic acid binds directly to the retinoic acid receptors. And retinoic acid is considered a drug. It is only available by prescription here in the United States. And there can be a considerable amount of irritation that goes along with retinoic acid. So you do need to be very cautious with use of retinoic acid. Now, having said that, the HPR, the hydroxypinocolone retinoate, is an ester of the retinoic acid, but it does also directly bind to the retinoic acid receptor. But unlike the retinoic acid, it does not cause as much irritation as retinoic acid. So this has become a favorite retinoid of a lot of dermatologists, skincare enthusiasts, and I too really love HPR, so I definitely look for HPR in my skincare. And then let's talk real quickly about retinol before I dive into the products that I have. Retinol is 2 conversion steps away from retinoic acid, so it is not going to be quite as effective as HPR or obviously retinoic acid because it is those 2 conversion steps away. And even though this may seem counterintuitive, even though it is 2 conversion steps away, and even though HPR does bind directly to the retinoic acid receptor site, retinol can be a little bit more irritating than HPR. So you just want to be a little bit cautious of using retinol. If you've never used a retinoid before and you're using retinol for the first time, you want to start low and go slow with retinol. Obviously with all the retinoids, especially retinoic acid, if you're getting a prescription from your doctor, you want to be cautious with that as well. But of course, follow your instructions and your prescription instructions from your dermatologist. Don't take my advice, follow the advice of your dermatologist if you're getting a prescription. But even over the counter, you want to start low and go slow with the retinoids. And then just for your information, I don't have anything that has retinal/retinaldehyde in it today, but retinal, also known as retinaldehyde, is only 1 conversion step away from retinoic acid. Like I said, I'm not talking about anything, maybe I do have one product that I'm going to quickly mention that does have retinal/retinaldehyde in it. So just to let you know, retinaldehyde is 1 conversion step away from retinoic acid. Retinol is 2 conversion steps away, and then the HPR does directly bind to the retinoic acid receptor site, but it is very well known for not being as irritating as anything that I just mentioned. And then before we dive into the products that I've been using that have retinoids, I just wanted to do a quick overview of this idea of skin cycling. Skin cycling is a term that was coined by Dr. Whitney Bowe. Basically what that means is giving your skin 2 rest days, or approximately 2 rest days, off of actives for your skin. So what she likes to do is start one night with AHA. So like on a Monday, do an AHA at nighttime. Tuesday, do a retinoid at nighttime, and then 2 nights off of no actives, and then starting the process again. So over the winter months, that is what I did, and it's been working really well for me. So on a Monday night, or day 1, I will use the AHA, and you can go to my previous video for all the AHAs that I'm currently using and loving. And then night 2 will be the retinoids, which I'm about to talk about, the products that I've been using, and then 2 nights off. And I will say that the 2 nights off obviously can be considered actives if you're saying those are really beautiful skin nourishing ingredients. I think I will do sort of like a part 3 of the skin nourishing products that I'm loving. Obviously, I have a lot more of those. I don't think I'm gonna do that immediately following this video because I really want to talk about the Boxwalla beauty box for April, which is absolutely fantastic. So I might not go directly in order, but I think I will do a part 3 where I really focus on kind of those skin nourishing ingredients that I really like to use, or the skin nourishing products that I like to use at nighttime. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive into the retinoids that I am currently using right now. I have a huge favorite that I am just absolutely loving, and that is the Bloomeffects Black Tulip Overnight Retinoid Serum. And I will give you a close-up here of this bottle because it is just absolutely beautiful. And this is my 2nd bottle. I have a 3rd bottle waiting for me, and I'm pretty sure I am almost out of this. But I think I can get another. Yeah, I am almost out of it. So I think what I'm gonna have to do for this video is pour out a little bit. And you can see that gorgeous, gorgeous dark purple color. And that really smooth, smooth texture. And I'll talk about the ingredients here that gives it that beautiful color and this gorgeous texture that just feels so lovely on the skin. I just can't tell you how beautiful it feels on the skin. That beautiful combination of humectants and oils. So let's go ahead and dive into the ingredients. So when we're talking about the retinoid, it has my favorite, the HPR. There is also Bakuchiol in here, as well as lactic acid, so it's got that combination of all my favorites. There's also niacinamide in here, which is great for calming the skin as well as brightening the skin. There's also hemp seed oil, so that's giving it that beautiful kind of moisturizing texture. And then as far as that beautiful deep purple color, that comes from upcycled black tulip petals that are harvested from the 115-year-old Dutch family farm, which I just think is amazing that those are actual upcycled tulip petals. So the deep dark tulips are very high in flavonoids and of course very high in antioxidants. And like I said, this has just become a favorite of mine. This is what I have been reaching for almost every night. That is my retinoid night. I just love it so much. Like I said, I have already gone through pretty much 2 bottles of this. I have another bottle in wait. I do have a 20% off code with Bloomeffects, so obviously you're welcome to use that anytime you want to. And in general, I've become a huge fan of Bloomeffects. I love their SPF, I love their Tulip Dew Cream, and just a little spoiler, that is in the April Boxwalla Beauty Box, a small little tube of that. I love their, I forget what they're called right now, but I think it's like their Dew Lip and Cheek Tints. Those have become a huge favorite of mine. I'm definitely going to be talking about those in a future video. I have another product to talk to you about here in this video. So yeah, I just have really become enamored of Bloomeffects. So can't say enough great things about this product. So right now, this is definitely my favorite retinoid product that I've got going. And then really the only other retinoid product that I'm currently using right now is the Inkey List Super Solutions 1% Retinol Serum. Now the Inkey List is typically very reasonably priced. I mean, pretty much everything is in that like $10, $12 price point. So for the Inkey List, this one is a little bit more expensive. This is $24.99. But the reason why I'm using the more pricey one is because this one does not have dimethicone in it. I'm not using any silicones in my skincare anymore because I realized it was causing me milia, not just, around the eye area, but actually on my cheeks as well. But I do feel like this is a really nice, reasonable price for a product like this. As the label suggests, it has 1% retinol in it. It has apricot kernel oil, squalane. So it has a really nice texture to it, which I'll just show you real quickly here. So you can see that opposed to the Bloomeffects one, this has more of a lotiony texture, and it has a really nice slip. It feels really nice on the skin, feels very moisturizing, very easy to apply. And I think I mentioned this in a previous video where I was speaking of the Inkey List Retinol Serum, that it's easy to apply on my upper lip. So it's good for spot treatments if you just want to place it in one area and you don't want it to bleed anywhere. And so on my upper lip, where I tend to get a little bit of melasma, it's very easy to place. So I really do like it for that reason. So let's say if I'm doing the rest night from my actives, so if it's, the 3rd night or the 4th night, but I still want to put just a teeny little bit of a retinol or a retinoid on my upper lip, that's when I'll reach for this. Again, the 1% retinol is actually a pretty high percentage of retinol. So like I was saying before, you want to start low and go slow. So if you've never used a retinol before and you do want to try this, what I would do would be do like that retinol sandwich with this one. So maybe put this on top of a very moisturizing serum or on top of a lotion. Then apply this and then maybe put another cream on top of it at nighttime and just sort of see how your skin is doing. So don't just dive right into this and put this on, dry skin with nothing else. You definitely would want to titrate with this product if you've never used a retinol before. And then real quick, I do want to mention the Holifrog Moonbeam. I did mention this in a past video, and I'm just mentioning it real quickly because I am almost through with this bottle, but I'm not going to be getting this again. And for me, I ended up not really liking it because of the scent. It does have kind of a relatively strong floral scent, but now that I'm close to the end of the bottle, I'm just done with it. I'm over the scent. I'm finding it to be very annoying and just kind of cloying. I thought that maybe I could use it on my chest at nighttime, but even doing that, it's almost worse because it just kind of like wafts up into my nostrils. But I just wanted to mention to you that it does have a very, very similar texture to the Inkey List. I'll try to find the video where I show the comparison to this, or I think I just show using it on my hand, so I'll link that up above. But just to let you know, this does have retinol and retinol in it if you're interested in that combination and scents don't tend to bother you. I think it's a lovely texture. I love that combination, but for me, the scent was just a deal breaker in the end. So I will not be getting this again in the future. So as I mentioned, the two retinoid products that I'm using right now are the Bloomeffects and the Inkey list. I am absolutely just head over heels in love with the Bloomeffects. And then just to reiterate, if you're looking for something that has HPR, Bakuchiol, a little bit of lactic acid, this is definitely something to check out. If you're somebody who is looking for retinol and you kind of like a little bit of a thicker lotiony type of serum, then I would definitely check out the Inkey list. Now we're gonna go ahead and move into the Botanical Retinols. And the one you might be most familiar with is Bakuchiol. And just a quick little review of Bakuchiol. This is an extract from the Bybi plant, which contains a really powerful phenol called marrow-terpene phenol. And phenols are very, very powerful antioxidants, which can increase collagen production, decrease fine lines, improve elasticity, increase firmness of your skin, help with photo damage. And also Bakuchiol has anti-inflammatory properties, antibacterial properties. So that makes it really nice for acneic skin. So I'm sure it's pretty obvious that the list of benefits of Bakuchiol are very, very similar to the list of benefits that retinoids have. But one thing that's really nice about Bakuchiol is it does not make your skin photosensitive. So Bakuchiol does not have the same chemical structure as retinoids, but it is considered a retinoid analog because it has very similar actions as the retinoids. One thing I will also mention is Bakuchiol, as far as we know, is safe in pregnancy, whereas you want to avoid the vitamin A derivatives in pregnancy. So the retinoids you want to avoid in pregnancy. Again, of course, you want to consult your providers on all of these issues around pregnancy and what is safe to use in your pregnancy. I'm not providing any medical advice when it comes to this video and what you should or should not be doing in your pregnancy. You want to be consulting with your provider on all things pregnancy related. But let's go ahead and dive into the products that I have that do contain Bakuchiol. Unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to the Earthwise Beauty Black Locust Firming Concentrate. So I'm not going to be talking about that because we can no longer get it. I'm almost done with this bottle. I do have a backup, but since we can't get it anymore, we're just going to have to bid farewell to it. But yes, this does have Bakuchiol in it. It has been one of my favorites in this Bakuchiol realm, but unfortunately we have to bid adieu to it. But let's go ahead and say hello to a new discovery of mine that has Bakuchiol in it that I feel like is a beautiful alternative to the Earthwise Beauty Black Locust Concentrate if you are looking for something to replace that in your skincare collection. And this is the Yina Nourish Botanical Serum. This has rhodiola and Bakuchiol in it. And this is a absolutely stunning oil serum. And Yina was very kind to send this to me, and I have absolutely fallen in love with it. And I actually have the box over here. And I think this is the first time I'm showing you their new packaging. I forget how long ago they rebranded, but I love their new packaging. I think it is so elegant and just really, really stunning. So they actually sent me several of their products. They sent me this and their mist that has been reformulated that is so beautiful, and also their cream, which is just absolutely beautiful. I'm just really, really loving everything they sent along. So thank you to Yina for sending me all of the products that I just mentioned. But here we're focusing on this one because it has Bakuchiol in it. So rhodiola is going to moisturize and strengthen, and Bakuchiol is rejuvenating and it helps decrease fine lines. This formula in particular was created because it is potent and grounding. It also contains super seed oils of camellia seed, safflower, and blackberry. And then the traditional Chinese medicine herbs are, like I mentioned, rhodiola and Bakuchiol. There's also Asian knotwood, angelica, and licorice in here. So as you can imagine, it's loaded with these antioxidants and adaptogens that are going to nourish, replenish, and restore. It helps reduce fine lines and enhance suppleness. The scent profile in here is absolutely gorgeous. It contains vetiver, agar wood, frankincense, and myrrh. There's also hoe wood and rosemary leaf in here. Probably get a little bit of a sense of this gorgeous color, but I will show it to you again. It's just so, so beautiful. Everything about it truly is rejuvenating and softening, and it really does make your skin super supple, like when you wake up in the morning after using this oil. It's also really lovely to add a couple drops in a moisturizer in the morning, which I've been really enjoying doing. So this is just a huge hit for me. I knew I would probably really like it, but I didn't know I would fall in love with it as much as I have, because sometimes scents, you know, is very subjective and very personal experience and what you enjoy. But even though it sounds like it might be a little bit overwhelming with the vetiver and the agar wood and the frankincense and the hoe wood oil and the myrrh, I mean, there is a lot going on in here, but it is so well balanced and it's actually pretty toned down. So when you put it on your skin, even though it doesn't dissipate right away, it lingers for, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes or maybe even up to an hour. It is very subdued and very relaxing and very calming. So it makes it a really lovely scent for nighttime because it is very grounding. All the woods in there just feel, like I said, just very relaxing and grounding. So I have really, really been enjoying the scent, how it makes my skin feel. Like I said, if you're looking for something to help replace the Black Locust firming concentrate, especially with the Bakuchiol in there, then in my opinion, look no further than the Yina Nourish Botanical Serum. Just so beautiful. And also the bottle's just really beautiful, looks so lovely. Sitting there on my bathroom counter. As you can tell, totally gushing over it. Really think it's a beautiful product. So just so happy that it is in existence. And then I think the only other Bakuchiol product that I have right now is the Bybi Booster 1% Bakuchiol and squalane oil. And I have had this for a long time. I just don't go through it very much because I just don't feel the need to add Bakuchiol oil into other products. And as far as I can tell, it's still good. It doesn't smell like it's gone off at all. It's lasted quite a while. I think I've had this a couple of years and it's a really good buy. The Bybi products are very, very reasonably priced. So if you are somebody who wants to add Bakuchiol to your moisturizer or to another oil, kind of create your own Bakuchiol cocktail, then this is an incredible product to purchase. I'm not a huge fan of squalane just by itself. I don't find that it absorbs into my skin that readily just by itself. So I do really feel like this truly is a booster type of product. So something to add to another oil, or at least definitely apply to, sort of wet skin or, skin that has a toner or that has another serum in it that's going to help deliver this into your skin. But yeah, I definitely use it as a booster. So a couple of drops into a lotion or a cream or another oil. But yeah, I just don't reach for it that often. So I am just so, so, so happy to have this Yina oil. I just think it's absolutely wonderful. So anyway, talking about this again because I love it so much. And then the other botanical retinol I want to talk about is Moth bean, which is a legume, which is native to India and Pakistan. And just as of note, it is a cultivated botanical, so it's not wild harvested, so it is not at risk for going extinct or, being endangered. Moth bean is very rich in proteins, antioxidants, and phenolic compounds. It's going to help encourage cellular renewal, decrease fine lines, increase collagen production. It's really great for sensitive skin. It's not going to cause photosensitivity. The phenolic compounds are very powerful antioxidants. It helps protect from environmental damage and UV ray exposure. It also is going to inhibit melanin production. So as you can tell, overall, moth bean is a really wonderful ingredient. And the product that I have right now that has moth bean in it is the Live Botanical Solar Return Revitalizing Essence. Now, this was a limited edition that Live Botanical did over the summer that is no longer on their website right now. But if I'm remembering correctly, I think Carolyn said they are going to be bringing this back because I'm pretty sure she said This was one of the limited editions that was very popular, and I think a lot of people requested for this to come back. And when I read the ingredient deck, you'll probably know why. It's got calendula hydrosol in it, chamomile hydrosol, lemon balm hydrosol. There's a pomegranate peptide in here, as well as the moth bean extract and glycerin. Just a really beautiful product. How I really like using it is a couple of pumps of this mixed with her First Light oil serum, which has the vitamin C in it. I talked about that in my previous video. Really beautiful product, and I really love it. So, and obviously I love it because it's got the moth bean in it. So unfortunately you can't get it right now. I'm gonna keep my eye on her website, and if it is listed, I will go ahead and put that link down below. But I do have an alternative for this right now if this sounds really interesting to you, and that is the Illuminating Exfoliating Serum, which similarly has green tea hydrosol. So that has hydrosol in it. It has the moth bean in it, but it also has willow bark extract, marshmallow root, and also lactic acid. So if you're looking for something that has sort of that hydrosol base to it with moth bean, but you also like lactic acid, you might want to take a look at the Illuminating Exfoliating Serum because that is available right now. I do have a couple of other products that do contain moth bean that were actually featured in my previous video because they do contain, one of them contains vitamin C and one of them contains AHA. So the first one that I'm going to mention real quick is the Sahara Rose Vitamin C Serum. So obviously this contains vitamin C as well as moth bean. You all know how much I love this one, and since I already talked about it quite a bit in my previous video, I'm not going to talk about it in depth right here, but just to give you another heads up, this does contain moth bean, and it is my favorite vitamin C serum going. And then another product that has moth bean in it is the Lilfox Dewy Bean Dream. I included this in my previous video because it contains glycolic acid and lactic acid, and I love using this at nighttime. I pretty much only use it at nighttime because it is a relatively powerful glycolic acid product, and I typically only use glycolic acid at nighttime. This is a fabulous product. I really feel like it does such a beautiful job of giving me a really amazing glow the next morning and, you know, throughout the next several days. So I love using this in the skin cycling, love using this on night 1, and then I would use the Black Tulip on night 2, and then of course, you know, the non-actives on night 3 and 4. But yeah, just to give you the heads up that this does contain moth bean, and it's a beautiful, beautiful product. So as I mentioned, I was going to talk about sort of like a bonus active, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Azelaic Acid. Now, I'm not using Azelaic Acid that frequently anymore. I typically only use it when I have this little patch right here where I do get like these little teeny little blemishes every once in a while, and when they tend to get a little out of control, I'll whip out the Azelaic Acid because it is so great for just toning down irritation and redness. And I do have this As Clear Action. It's a cream, an azelaic acid cream that you can get. I think I got it from New Zealand, and I believe it's 15%. Oh no, it's actually, this is amazing. This is 20% azelaic acid. Now, if you were to get 20% azelaic acid from the pharmacy, like if you got a prescription for azelaic acid, I bet you it would cost you definitely over $200. I don't know, maybe I should only talk about my insurance coverage, but azelaic acid is very, very expensive. And even if you get 15% from your provider for a prescription, it probably is also going to be very expensive. So if I can find the link of where I got this, to get this from New Zealand, it's like 15 bucks. It is crazy. It's such an amazing deal. So if I can find the link, I will link it down below. Yeah, but azelaic acid is fantastic for acne, for taking down irritation. It is sort of an unsung hero of skincare. I don't know why it's not talked about more, but azelaic acid is a great active. And what's interesting is I'm going to talk about the Black Tulip Eye Treatment, which I thought maybe had a retinoid in it because I was sitting down to prepare for this video and I was going to include this in the retinoid section, but it actually has azelaic acid in it. So that's why I actually decided to do a little mini section on azelaic acid because it is such an amazing ingredient. So let's talk about this black tulip eye treatment. It is going to help decrease puffiness, decrease dark circles, and decrease wrinkles, or crow's feet, I think is what they specify on the website. Now, for me, I've been struggling with dark circles for a little while now. I think it's because my allergies are starting to rear its ugly head for me right now at this time of year. So I can't really speak to the dark circles. I don't really think I'm the best person to talk to right now about dark circles because I just don't think any skincare product is going to be able to power over my allergies at the moment. But I really do think it does help with puffiness. I have noticed a difference when I use this at nighttime. My puffiness has not been as bad. So I really do think there is something to their claims about helping decrease puffiness. So as I mentioned, this has azelaic acid, caffeine, niacinamide. It does have their black tulip extract in it, as well as a peptide complex. And I'll show you what it looks like. It has a really lovely texture. It's kind of on the liquidy side, so I don't want to dip it too much or else it's gonna pour out. But I'll show you on my hand the texture. It has a little bit of a liquidy, kind of a gel texture. I would call it a liquid gel serum is the best I can describe it. But it has a really, really lovely slip, goes on under the eyes really well, and it doesn't give you that tightening feeling. It just has a really, really nice moisturizing feeling. It does not run down the face, which is nice for nighttime. I'm very picky about, especially my nighttime serums or, eye serums. Doesn't feel tight or taut, which I don't like that feeling when I use a serum at nighttime. So it's got that really nice, like I said, sort of gel serum-y texture, but it stays put, doesn't get taut and tight. So it's just kind of a really interesting texture that I've been enjoying a lot. And like I said, it's really been helping decrease the puffiness in the morning. So this has been a big hit for me for sure. And if you struggle with puffy eyes like I do, this might be a product that you would like to check out. So that wraps it up for all the actives that I am currently using. Like I said, azelaic acid is not something I'm using on the regular, but I did just want to mention this. I will try to find the link down below for you, but I did want to go ahead and mention the azelaic acid because it is in the Bloomeffects Black Tulip Eye Treatment. But as far as actives go on the regular, it's all about vitamin C for me, AHAs, most specifically lactic acid, glycolic acid about once or twice a week at nighttime, and then of course the retinoids, and then Bakuchiol and Moth. So like I said, that wraps it up. As far as doing part 3, I think I will do a part 3 where I focus on what I use on my nights off from the actives. I don't think that's going to be right away. I have a couple of other videos that I would like to do, but part 3 will be coming. And I think my next video, I will let you know what's coming in the Boxwalla Beauty Box for April. But like I said, it is Bloomeffects and I'm super excited about it. So I will see you in that next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't yet subscribed, I would love it if you would do so. It would mean so much to me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.